Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 248 of the J Situation Podcast. I'm recording this on February 18th, 2025. How are all you wonderful folks doing? Man, it's about to get super cold here, apparently. Yeah, weird. Because things are usually warming up by now. It's not optimal. So to those of you down south, get the hot cocoa, because it is second winter for us, apparently. I've been having some fun today. It's a neat episode, I think. The Otter Creek Labs Infinity is here. That's right. Big research study has concluded, and you're getting a ton of deliverables today. Not yet everything, but most of it. So today, you folks are going to get 2 reports with this episode. 308 bolt action evaluation with both the solid and vented Infinity configurations. And you're also getting 556 Mark 18 data with 3 different end caps. Yeah, the solid 556, the vented 556, and the vented 762. So in total, you guys get 5 different tests today. Yeah, and guess what that means? That means we have officially hit 200 data points in the public Pew Science Research Pedigree rankings. Yeah, so when you go to the rankings, when these articles are live, you will have 200 records in the sortable table. Yeah, so quite the milestone, I think. And we're very thankful to all of our clients and our research cooperative members for supporting us all this time to get to this point. So we're going to do an intro talk on the Otter Creek articles on this episode. And then, per tradition, we will do the technical deep dive next week. And yet there will be 300 blackout data for the silencer as well, but just not today. Okay, it's just there's a lot, and putting that out too is just going to be too much. It's too much time. Didn't have the resources to get that out at the same time, so you'll have to wait for that one. Okay, but it'll come too. And speaking of contributions and help, and the research cooperative members, it is time to welcome a new one. So let's give a big Pew Science welcome to a new corporate member of the research effort. That's Jim's Firearms out of Baton Rouge. Yeah, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. That's right. Big thanks to them for supporting the effort with the membership. It does help a lot. They actually, in their shop there, they use Pew Science data every day to help consumers with silencers. And so we're very happy to have them aboard. Also, just so you know, I don't know if you guys know this, but they're having a public silencer shoot called Hush Fest, which is at the Bridgeview Gun Club in Port Allen. I think that's about 20 minutes northwest of Jim's, right outside Baton Rouge there, on Saturday, February 22nd. Yeah, doors open at 9 a.m. I believe the event goes until 3 in the afternoon there. So how about that, man? There's 7 silencer vendors there. So you'll be able to try the silencers before you buy them. Yeah. You can shoot suppressed rifles and pistols and shotguns too, I think. I know at least Huxworks, Anechoic, Dead Air, Gemtech, Surefire, Silencer Co., SIG, CMMG, Hornady. I think Silencer Shop's going to be there. All those folks are going to be there. So go say hi. Go shoot some awesome silencers. Tell everyone Pew Science says hi. Go give a big hug to all of the gym's employees, especially their gunsmith manager. His name is Jonathan. He has actually been a Pew Science member for many years. He's ride or die. He's the man. You're the man, sir. You are a gentleman and a scholar. I hope your shoot goes well, and a lot of people get to experience silencers, which is the name of the game. Okay, so thank you for your patience with these administrative announcements, and now we'll get on with the show. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you have not been here before and you're new, welcome. Everyone is glad to have you. We are glad you're here. There are timestamps in the episode description, no matter what platform you're listening on, and you can skip to wherever you would like. Okay, but if you want to hang around a little bit longer, I'm gonna read some ads because it keeps the lights on and keeps me doing this podcast. Okay. As always, this podcast is brought to you by Legion Athletics. Nothing you do, exercise, sports, really anything is worth doing without consistency. You have to do things all the time if you want to be good at them. And Legion Athletics can certainly help you with that. They have whey protein, pre-workout, post-workout, creatine, vitamins, minerals, supplements. Do they have everything you need? No, they don't, but they have a lot. Visit legionathletics.com. There is a referral link in the show notes. If you click that helps us. Also, use code word PewScience. You will save 20% off of your first order, which can be a lot of money. And if you keep using that code every time you order your stuff, you'll just get points, and you'll use those for to redeem for cash, essentially, the more you order. So get strong. It's important. Legion Athletics. The podcast is also brought to you by the Borg Silencer Shop. No, I'm kidding. They've done a lot for the industry. They really have. And if you're a new dealer looking to get started in the space, you don't want to hold inventory, you can get a kiosk. You can use that to have your folks do your fingerprints and photos electronically. You cut down on errors. You simplify your silencer purchasing process. You get a money-back guarantee. It's pretty good. No transfer fees, no paperwork errors. Just you and your silencer with no drama. Truly silencer ownership simplified. Speaking of gun shops, Top Gun Range Houston, let me tell you something, brother. If you're in the Houston area, let's say you're on a business trip, but the meeting is going to be super boring, so you duck out early, and then you want to go shoot a suppressed machine gun, you can do that at Top Gun Range. 15-lane indoor shooting range, largest firearm rental fleet in the whole state of Texas. When you're in the elevator going to your meeting, just get on topgunrange.com, look at their firearm rental inventory, decide what you're going to shoot, decide what silencer you're going to rent to shoot on the guns, because you can totally do that there. Then when you're out of your meeting, you go shoot some suppressed machine guns with your brothers. And everything's great. TopGunRange.com. Let me tell you something about Capital Armory. Did you know that silencers are in high demand right now? Did you know that you might have trouble finding a silencer no matter where you are? Did you know that some of you are busy and maybe, I don't know, you don't have time to go to the gun store? Has Capital Armory got the deal for you? Not only do they have a large selection of silencers and they help you with the painful paperwork, they can actually ship the silencer directly to you. That's right. If you live in one of the 42 states where silencers are legal, you can order a silencer in your living room and have it shipped directly to that same living room. It really is that easy. Capital Armory. Silencer shipped directly to your door. Finally, this podcast is brought to you by the Pew Science Laboratory. Did you know that? It's very important. I'm the technical director of the lab. In the interest of public education, we sponsor this podcast. We continue to run this public research effort for all of you with the goal of pushing the silencer industry forward one test at a time. Please visit pewscience.com for all the research. It has the suppression rating there. It's the simplest and the most accurate hearing safe rating for suppressed small arms based on true human inner ear response of the entire gunshot from before the combustion takes place all the way until all the combustion is gone. It's the home of the silencer sound standard. 7 sections, the most in-depth and accurate silencer data and analysis in the entire known universe. And it's available to the public 24/7 at pewscience.com. And you can support this podcast, as always, all the testing. You can join with the membership and make all this happen. Please, I implore you. Go hit join on the website. Throw us a bone. It's less than a cup of coffee at Starbucks per month, so it would be awesome if you did it. But you know what? If a monthly thing's not your thing, I understand. Donate one-time stuff on the review page, the podcast page. That's cool. Hey, and if money is tight because, of the impending apocalypse, something's free and doesn't cost you anything. Just give this a good rating on the Spotify or the iTunes or the YouTubes or wherever you listen, man. Hope folks know that silencers and guns are awesome. All right, let's go ahead. We got 2 topics for you today. They're both about the Otter Creek Labs Infinity. Topic 1 is going to be bolt action. Topic 2 is going to be 5.56. All right, so let's head into topic 2 at a time. Or topic 1. My bad. Topic 1 at a time of 9 minutes and 35 seconds. Okay, perfect. So topic 1, Sound Signature Review 6178. This is the Otter Creek Labs Infinity on 308 bolt action. This is a new hybrid design silencer from Otter Creek Labs. This article contains 2 tests, both the solid and vented 7.62 end caps. So the question you got to ask yourself is, how does this technology perform with 762 NATO? Okay, so this discussion will center to introduce this silencer to you in this comprehensive article that is published today with its sister article that we'll talk about next. Real quick though, before we begin, have you guys been following this alien thing where people are saying they're seeing aliens? Man, I listened to like a Joe Rogan podcast yesterday, and like I had a long drive, so I listened to the whole thing. It's like 3 hours of this podcast, and by the end of it, I was really disappointed because I really want to believe that we have encountered aliens, but man, there's this guy talking about it, and he said that he saw this alien up close. Like they were in a car and he was on the road, and when he saw the alien had no ears. Like the guy had no ears. He was like, oh my God, it's an alien. But he didn't take a picture. It's like, man, I had a hard time believing him. So anyway, I've been thinking about that a lot, and I thought maybe I mentioned it on this. So like if someone knows more, they can contact me. I'll love to talk about it with you, but sort of a letdown. Anyway, Infinity, highly requested. This one's pretty interesting. Most of you know Otter Creek Labs, right? They've been a Pew Science Laboratory client since 2021. Since 2021. So about 4 years now. You have seen a lot of testing and analysis of their silencers from us, and that's really cool. Otter Creek Labs came onto the scene during a time when Pew Science was just getting started publicly. That was in 2020. I think we launched the standard publicly in March of 2020. So we're about to hit our 5 years coming up. And the Otter Creek mission did closely align with ours, I think. Otter Creek took a lot of BS out of silencers, and they wanted their silencers shown with actual real performance data. And so it just so happens that Pew Science started for that very reason. I mean, if you guys have been around from the beginning, this laboratory was started by me because I was fed up with buying silencers that were not performing like I was told they should perform by the YouTube people. Okay, that's why we did this, and it's worked, and it's continued to work. So these papers we put together for the Infinity actually have summaries up front. Did something a little bit different this time. So near the top of the articles, all of the relevant Otter Creek Lab silencer tests are shown. So in this particular article, the one for 308, along with the solid end cap Infinity and the vented end cap Infinity, you'll see upfront comparison with the PR30S, the PR30L, the Polonium 30, and the Hydrogen L. Okay, so you're going to see 6 rifle silencers, all by the same company, right up front on 308 bolt action. Okay, and I think that's cool. Let me tell you why. He has reasons. No, the first reason is that you get to see how a company's technology has evolved. So I'm of the opinion, if you're not learning and innovating and evolving, you're dying. Right? You may as well be. So the plot at the top of this article is going to show some interesting things to you. I think it's even more interesting in the Mark 18 article, which we're going to introduce next, but I think this one is still good. Second reason I think showing a plot like this is cool is because it's all silencers from one company, from one brand. This immediately nullifies the tinfoil hat conspiracy skepticism, right? Because you can see real performance metrics and how they're changing across designs from a single company. Okay, so if you like one of the silencers better than another one in the chart, cool. You might buy one, and either way, you're going to buy one of their silencers, so it really doesn't matter. Like, there's no conspiracy theory there, like, unless you really try to make one. Like, if you're super, like, you Like you took all the Adderall and caffeine and you really want to grind hard and figure out a conspiracy theory, you could, I guess, but go nuts. And you know what I mean? So I think that's really good. And then another reason it's cool, and this actually goes to the whole study and project in general, you get to see how the performance changes when you change the end cap. And that's a big deal for the Infinity. And I think it's the second most important part of this design. I do. So yeah, those are the reasons I think that you're going to... those are the reasons I think what you're going to see up front in these articles is cool. And what I just said, the changeable end caps being the second most important part of this design, let me explain that a little bit. Or what's the new lingo? Let me add some color to that. It's like when people say, let me circle back, let me add some color. It's just these little cliches I've been hearing. It's like, oh my God, I can't wait till I'm retired. I don't want to have to hear these sayings anymore, hopefully. So this is not the technical talk yet. So for just real quick. So for those of you new to the podcast, we don't go super deep and technical on the intro talks on the day of publication. Like we hold those talks until the next week so folks can have a chance to read the research, let the emotions subside, and people learn better when they're not subjected to pressure. Learning under pressure is difficult for people, I've found. So we don't want to be drastic. I want you folks to be comfortable. So now, that being said, I do want to tell you something technical up front that you really need to understand about the Infinity. Okay, so please, humor me. Regardless of end cap change, let me repeat, even if you use a solid end cap on the silencer will, in effect, have a lower back pressure on a weapon system than the polonium series. Okay? And the reason is Otter Creek Labs has advanced in their system design. Okay? The Infinity, it marks the first hybrid design silencer from Otter Creek Labs. Notice I didn't say flow-through. I didn't say flow-through because that is a Huxworks technology. And it's not that I'm saying that or like describing the Infinity differently because of legal reasons. Believe me, I do not care about that at all. It's definitely not that. The reason I'm not calling the Infinity a flow-through silencer is because it simply doesn't behave like one. Okay? But it does behave differently than the relatively primitive previous generation of polonium stuff. Okay? Back pressure is a big part of that, and specifically the early time flow rate. And we're going to get into this on the next episode of the podcast, I promise. But for now, please read the articles and you'll see what I mean. Okay, I really want to say this up front because if I hear one more person say flow through, it's like, oh my God, I don't know if it's like the marketing departments that have made that happen or laziness. I don't know if that's together or not. It's not. I mean, Huxworks did come up with a clever phrase. It's just, if you conflate the technologies, you're going to be confused because they're just simply the physics are just not the same. So I don't want to say that phrase of like, well, you're just going to make yourself look stupid. You kind of do though, when you conflate the two, in my opinion. Anyway, it's because you're just saying nonsense technically. So the Infinity is quite the interesting silencer. This thing, it's interesting to me. It's because it's not a lightweight hunting silencer at all. So please don't think it is, because it's definitely not. It's 30 caliber, so yeah, you can put it on your hunting rifle or your precision rifle or your plinking rifle or your SR-25 or whatever. But this thing is 3D printed in Canal. Okay, so it has changeable end caps to alter the late time flow state in the silencer. Therefore, you are probably going to feel good about using the silencer in an abusive fashion. Like I would if I got an Infinity, like I wouldn't get it for casual shooting. I would get it because I want to do bad things to it. Understand? I want to abuse it. Like, for example, like you can most likely use the silencer on any machine gun you want, like provided the cartridge fits reliably through the bore. Like the chances of you breaking this silencer are relatively low. And I say that given like not only the silencer's material, that's one part. It's only one part. It's not only the material, it's also the geometric features of the silencer. So go nuts. Like think like Helios QD type abuse. Okay? I'm serious. Like you like people, sometimes say, "Oh, is it full auto rated?" It's like for one, there's no such thing. For two, like, are you sure you want to know that? Like, so you really want to break your gas tube and your barrel before the silencer? Okay, well, pay for the ammunition and do it. What's that saying? Like, everyone wants to be a gangster until it's time to do gangster stuff. Yeah, one second. People talk a lot. Now, this first article on the Infinity is it's on 308 bolt gun, right? So from this article, you're going to get a lot of information. And the primary performance data you're going to see includes the suppression rating metrics with both end caps, right? And that's going to quantify personnel risk in various areas of the pressure field around the weapon system. That's one thing. Now, the performance data also includes the calculated omega metrics. And that's going to give you an idea of the relative momentum transfer rate out of the silencer, which supplements your back pressure estimates as long as you know what you're doing, okay? So that's another thing. The other thing you're going to get is consistency information when you change end caps, which I think is important when you're learning about how a new technology performs. You guys that are just looking at the ranking section or just looking at the big number at the top of the page, that is fine because Pew Science is designed to help everyone. But if you really want to understand what's going on and you don't want to read, well, just tune in for the technical discussion next time. And if you don't want to listen and you don't want to read, I don't know, get a tutor, which is cool. We actually have a tutor here at Pew Science. Did you know that? You can pay for it. It's a pro membership on the website. It's like $10 a month, and someone will teach you about physics like in real time. It's true. So that's what's in this article. And to be frank, I think that's the stuff you need, right? That's all the stuff you need. To me, and I think to a lot of other people as well, I think the second article is going to have a lot of meat on the bone. The 5.56 semi-auto testing, I mean, a silencer like this, let's be real, guys. You need the pure combustion dynamics from the bolt gun test, but the semi-auto is where you really, really learn. You get to put it into action more. I think this is really where you get to see what the Infinity can do and how it's able to be adapted to like how you need to use it. And I believe that both the 308 bolt action article and the 5.56 Mark 18 article are going to teach a lot of people about not only the Infinity, but about the polonium series. I don't think a lot of people understand the polonium and the polonium K. I think they buy them because they're popular. And I'm not saying they shouldn't be popular. I'm saying sometimes people don't quite understand everything about a system. And I think the Infinity is going to change that. At least it should, if people read this research. You know what I mean? So, yeah, check out the article. When you have time, you don't have to read it, but you should. So what we're going to do is let's introduce the second one at a time of 23 minutes. And 48 seconds. This will be a fast episode today, apparently. Good. Sometimes we need to go fast. Okay. I'm pulling up the other article that is not yet published because I want to see something. Okay. 1 second. Okay, so topic 2. Yeah, sound signature review 179. Yeah, man, that's crazy. So this is the Infinity, the Otter Creek Labs Infinity. Now, instead of bolt gun, this is 5.56 standard untuned Mark 18, so 10.3-inch barrel, remember? This is 3 tests, so solid 5.56 end cap, vented 5.56 end cap, vented 7.62 end cap, adjustable back pressure. So how does each configuration perform? This is a lengthy study. This is one of the longer reports that you'll see published on the site. Otter Creek went deep in this. They funded this research. all this whole program, and it wasn't just this stuff, right? The Funded 300 Blackout too. We'll talk about that later, not today. So, if you didn't listen to the previous topic, please, you should. Now, this is the Infinity on 556, and let's be clear. Is the Infinity heavy? Yes. Is it large? Yeah, it's kind of big for a 556 silencer. It is, but it's not super big. And it's actually really not super heavy. Like when you consider other heavy use 556 silencers, really, it's an important point because I think when you see the performance of the Infinity, you're going to start comparing it to a lot of stuff. And I can tell you unequivocally, there are some legacy silencers that hybrid designs are usurping completely. Is the Infinity a hybrid design in this group? Yeah, I think it is. I think it is part of that group. And this is a really big deal because, guys, and look, this has been in the articles if you've been reading them. There are several companies making hybrid designs, and look at them, like Liberty Precision Machines, CGS, PTR, CAT, Surefire. You got Otter Creek Labs now. All of these companies, which ones are the most advanced? Well, it's the ones that are pushing forward with R&D with performance in mind. It is not coincidence. You're chasing performance, you're going to eventually catch it. Okay? So the Infinity, in my opinion, is a next generation Otter Creek Labs product. And I'm not saying it's a next generation silencer, like in the context of all silencers. I'm not saying that. In the context of all silencers, we're classifying it as a hybrid design, like I told you earlier, which means it has elements of both high flow rate and conventional silencers combined to manage momentum control while still allowing appropriate weapon function. Okay? Hybrid designs are not flow-through silencers, but they aren't conventional legacy previous generation silencers either. Okay? They combine the best of both worlds. So for Otter Creek Labs, this is their next generation because this is the first and only at this time hybrid design they have. It's the only one they offer. Okay? So what does that mean for 556 performance on an SBR? Like what does it really mean practically? Well, it means you can start to have your cake and eat it too, as they say, right? I'm telling you, man, these cliches are killing me. But this is actually a point where this is interesting, and I don't know, they already know. This is a point where I'm going to disagree with our client. I'm going to disagree with Otter Creek Labs a little bit here about the end cap choices. I read on their website, I believe, maybe I'm wrong, but I read on their website that they said the vented 7.62 end cap they include is good to use, and the vented 5.56 end cap is more of a specialty item. In our testing and engineering analysis, which you will see in this report, the vented 5.56 end cap is a really big sweet spot for the standard untuned Mark 18. I actually think restricting that main orifice a little more actually does optimize performance. So look, that's our opinion. I think you guys should look at the data analysis and draw your own conclusions if you want, but I'm telling you what I think based on math, physics. Okay. Now, to be clear, I'm pretty sure Otter Creek wrote that copy before they got our engineering results back. So, hey, it's their silencer, dude. It's their company, whatever. Not our rodeo, not my problem. I'm just telling you what we see in the performance data. And you'll see it too when you look at the charts, dude. Like it's even like and I'm telling you again, just like the 308 article I was telling you about, up front in this report, figure 1 is like up front, and it has all the Otter Creek stuff, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So that's pretty cool, right? You get an upfront summary, which is going to have all the Otter Creek stuff tested on 5.56. What is that? Well, all 3 poloniums. So it's the polonium K, the polonium 30. And then it also has 3 Infinity configurations. Solid 5.56 end cap, vented 5.56 end cap, vented 7.62 end cap. So 6 silencer configurations, just like the 308 article had, except in this time they're different silencers because it's a different platform, right? So Again, we're going to go through the technical deep dive next week. One thing to look at is that the silencers in the chart are in order of omega. No, we don't give you the 556 omega calculation because we did it for 308 and people misuse it. So I'll tell you about it, but I'm not giving you raw numbers because people can't be trusted. They're going to mess up and it's going to be a problem. So we're very careful about how we present information because we don't want you to misuse things, but we can still use it as a teaching tool. So when you look at the silencers in the chart, they're in order of omega. You're going to see, even with a lower omega metric, the polonium K has some trouble to shooter's ear. And why would that be? Well, early time flow rate, elevated alpha parameter, too much blast impulse accumulation in the first expansion chamber. It's a huge downside of the polonium series. The Infinity is a hybrid. And again, we're going to talk about that next week, but the Infinity has a higher early time flow rate independent of NCAP. It's a huge deal. That is such a huge deal for this silencer. So all in all, this was a good project. It really was. It was a really big research program for us, for our lab. Taking a silencer and testing it in this many configurations on multiple weapon platforms is a lot of work. And it's a lot of data, and analyzing it all and distilling it all down to usable and actionable information is really cool. Like just that's called data reduction, right? Like when you do the data reduction and you actually start to look at the trends and you look at all this analysis, it's a lot. It's really cool. And so at the end of your review of these two papers, which are 2/3 of this research study, the other third being the subsonic 300 blackout, which you're going to get later. At the end of this, you're going to have a huge window into the supersonic ammunition performance of all Otter Creek Labs silencers, rifle silencers. This is, I think, the most comprehensive public study of Otter Creek Labs rifle suppression technology performance that exists, like in the world. Okay? And Otter Creek made this happen for you. So you should thank them. That's huge. That's a really big deal. Okay? So please enjoy it. Thank Otter Creek Labs for continuing to trust our laboratory to perform this work. They have stuck with us since the beginning. I'm telling you, that is a huge deal. They are certainly not intimidated by performance evaluation. Trust me. And that is shown by their continued research solicitation. And there's stuff that you haven't seen that you might not see because we tested it. And hey, they send a lot of stuff. And so here we are. This is good. This is a lot of data. And they're showing the good, the bad, and the ugly with this silencer here. So yeah, big ups, Andrew. I hope you and the crew are doing well. Your team did a hell of a job. Like, you've advanced. You gotta take the wins. So good stuff, man. So yeah, please go enjoy these articles, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna reconvene next week to go deep, just like how we like it. Yeah, we like to go deep. So please stay safe out there. Stay warm. Seriously, I had weather.gov up in my, did I? Oh, I might have closed it. Anyway, I had it up earlier, and it's getting down to the 30s, and then it's getting down to the 20s, and that's just unreasonable. So, wrap your pipes. I will talk with you folks again soon. The articles will be live at 0700 Central on Wednesday the 19th. Okay? That's in the morning. Enjoy. Bye.